Hey guys, Cindy over paper.old.new. Thanks for coming by and spending some time with me today. God bless you for being here. And I am looking at this project that we started together with the paper pads. So I showed you this set. Well, I showed you this pocket. And then I showed you, see if I can get it apart. I showed you these. Right? And there was a paperclip pocket. This. And I said, what if I took the pads and I made a whole set? So you get a card and a tag and a paperclip pocket and one of these pockets with the gusseted edges. All made out of the same, so they're like a little kit. And we did this one, this gusseted pocket to go with this set. Right? We're all together so far? And then I already had, the paperclip pocket is kind of keeping the sets together. And then I already had this pocket, so I went and got the pads and we made these. So we made the tag and we made the card and we made the paperclip pocket. And because I used the I used the bottom half of the pad for the pocket, we used the top half and made a card for this one. So this one has a card. It goes down in there like that. Okay. I don't know. This might end up being a card somewhere else because if you clip this to a top of a pocket, I'm always leery about stuff like that sticking up out of the book. I suppose it wouldn't hurt anything. The button could kind of guard it, but you never know. So these were the sets we made. And then I took some time off camera and I put all of these sets together. So I took this pad and I paired it with this striped paper. Okay, so you have the paperclip pocket, the gusseted pocket that's not decorated, the card, and the tag. Okay, and then I did this one. No, that was a faux pas. I cut the width wrong or something, so this one just has a top and bottom. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. It may go in the kit, it may not. This pad got this paper, so you've got your paperclip pocket. I have a piece of lace that I want to put with this, apparently. A gusseted pocket, a card, and a tag. And see, I just found some scrapbook paper that I like with the pad piece. Okay? And then this is the same paper, but in purple. And believe it or not, it came out of a beach pad. But yeah, this is hard because this is supposed to be, this group of pads is supposed to be one pad for every month. So I think each pad had like 30 sheets in it or maybe 60 sheets so you could use them for 2 years. And then you stuck the pad that matched the month you were in to your fridge because they have magnets on the back. Well, they're sitting right here. I'll show you. Magnets on the back. And you use the pad and then you switch them out every month. This is supposed to be October. Black cat, fine, but the purple and the green are okay, but this is more red than orange, so it kind of threw me. And there's and this is pink. So, yeah. So I didn't really lean into the Halloween thing. But I did do purple. I suppose the option is still there to lean into the Halloween thing. All right, and then for summer, I found some double-sided paper that I liked. So this ended up with, we've got the paperclip pocket is on the sandy side with the little shells and everything. And then I made this card. I don't think it fits in the pocket. It doesn't. I made this card on that's the opposite side of the paper. Okay, and then I made 2 gusseted pockets for this kit because I like both sides and I couldn't decide which one I liked better. And then for the card and the tag, I put the card on the sandy side and the tag on the water side. So like that. And then I have 2. These, I used the bottom of this to make a flippy pad somewhere. And these are the top pieces that I cut off. So we have these to use in the decorating, which is good because I have 2 pockets. So one on one pocket and one on the other pocket. Whatever. I don't want to get them lost. So, all right, let me collect up all the parts for this one. So this one got quite a few parts made. Okay. And then we have this winter one. I also found double-sided paper for this, but the double-sided paper for this, the burgundy wasn't really something that I felt went with the winter idea. So I kind of stuck with the blue side. It's got blues and purples and a little bit of the green. So, and I really liked this flowery, so I left that on the paperclip pocket. And then you've got your gusset pocket that needs decorating. Okay. And then I had actual strawberry paper. So we have strawberry paper for our background. And I accidentally went all the way around with my gusset. Because I think on one of them, I used paper, so I gusseted the top so I could fold it over to reinforce. But anyway, I had strawberry paper, so this ended up on strawberry paper, which I think turned out adorable. I love it. This came in a pad of something from Recollections, I think, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it, but yeah. This is the one I think that was paper. So I was glad that for the pocket you have to do reinforcing, so I glued this on the front to reinforce it on the front and this on the back. This is the one that I glued down, so I gusseted it all the way around and I glued this down to enforce the top of the pocket, because this is not as thick. We do have a card and a this. I was trying to make this when I did this, and I didn't have border on one of the sides, so I just cut it off. So I've got an extra tag if I want it for this kit. Okay, so we have that one. And then this one, I found this is double-sided paper, but I really liked this side with the flowers. I thought that was really pretty. Oh, and then the blue. And because it's paper, again, I folded it down. I might have done it on the winter one too, because it's this same paper. And then a card and a tag. I'm just showing you the papers that I matched up. And then I had this paper from one of the Ollie's hauls. And again, it's paper, so I did the reinforced top, gusseted pocket, tag, card, paperclip pocket. So what I thought we would try and do, I don't know how well it's going to happen, but I thought maybe we could decorate at least one more of these gusseted pockets together. But I wanted to show you how they looked in their kits now that I found paper to go with all of them. So I need to find the pad because we're going to need to cut one more of these pieces of paper apart. Need this piece. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and, actually, I'm not going to do that because I don't cut straight. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take the top off. I think we're going to do this in sections. I'm going to take the top. I don't know. I'm doing that like I can cut straight. I can't cut straight. What makes me think I can lay a ruler on a piece of paper and not cut at a slant? I don't know how much of the other parts of this I will end up using. So some of them are harder than others. Like, I like the buttons, but it might be better if I just added buttons of my own rather than to kind of emulate. And I might use the cherry. He's kind of cute. So I don't know how I'll use him. I might want to use him with the rickrack. So if I cut, there we go, guys. We're going to test my cutting skills. I cut right there. And then right here. We might be able to use that. And then I don't know what I'll do with this. I have been using this, so I can take this paper. I did it on this one. Oh, I forgot to show you. So this was the fall one. So this was the fall kit. And as you can see, I started decorating the fall kit. This was another one of the fall kits. And I chose this. This is also double-sided paper, but the only thing it had on the back of it was a dress form, I think, and I saved it. And I got the card and the tag. This tag is waiting to be backed so that I can glue this down and cut it free and make that floppy thing. Here's my paperclip pocket. And here's my gusseted pocket. Now, the reason I was going to show this to you is because back here in the background, I put this center bit was part of my, instead of music paper, like on this one, we used music paper in the background. So instead of music paper, I used this. This is a done one. Well, a kind of done one. So put that up there. All right. So let's see what we can do with this guy. I think I am going to I'm going to tear this like that. I don't know about the buttons. I'm trying to decide if I should tear the buttons off. We definitely have to tear that off. I don't know how far over this is going to go, or what of it's going to show, because again, I'm going to end up putting, I feel like I'm always putting this over on the one side. That's just the way my eye goes. I need my corner punch because I like the rounded corners on these. I need to get some red rickrack. I think we're going to do real red rickrack if I've got any. I don't know if I have any. I do have some stuff out up here, so let me get, here's some white lace. Here's also some white lace. Oh, and this is a smaller piece. I don't need that much to hang off. So I'll probably cut this in half. So how is everybody? How was your 4th of July? All of you here in the States. And anybody who's visiting for the World Cup, did you participate in any 4th of July activities? Just see what they're like. What did you think? Although I don't necessarily know that any of you who visited for the World Cup will be watching a video and be able to answer that question, but just thought I'd ask. I think we're going to do some of this blue. Let's take this off of here, because I'm probably going to end up cutting it free of its, this top part. I'm going to cut this off of here. I have a tendency to cut this off of here a lot when I'm doing this layering stuff, especially when I'm using, like these pads, this is like thin paper. It rivals copy paper in thinness. So, yeah, I mean, probably not going to need a piece that big either. Now, see, the idea would be that this would go down first, like that, and then this is going to go on top of the blue. So what I would probably do is glue it to the blue first. And then put it down like that. Don't know about this piece. I feel like I had more room with some of these. Maybe not. Maybe I just crowded it all together. I want to get the rickrack. That's what I really want. So we're going to get some rickrack. Hang on a sec. Okay. I got red rickrack. Apparently I haven't used it yet, so take that out. And I got my white buttons down. So what we might do is find some buttons that we could glue on here. Like maybe down the side. I'd like them all to be relatively similar. Oh, you know what I could use? These is real. the more heavy buttons we had. I don't know if this was them or not. But I do have a bunch of these. That's 2. I'm thinking 3 would be good. Okay. So I'm going to put that there. I'm not going to need this. All this stuff can get out of my way. All right. Now, I think we're just going to do the traditional. It was easy to find. I'm a sucker for easy at this point. I need to make sure that I plan better for the, like the inking part, so that I can get out different inks. Because Lord only knows I have a bunch of them, and I feel like I don't ever use them because this is always to hand, and vintage is never, the wrong way to go. So I don't mind using it on a lot of projects, but I have all those other inks and I want to use them, and I just am always like, it's in the drawer, I have to dig for it, and I have to find it. So I need to that needs to be part of my planning when I come on to do a video with you guys. It's like, I'm going to use this. I need to get the stuff. Anyway, all right. Enough yammering about that. So now, the first thing we're going to do is glue this down. And I'm using the bottle that's almost out. I'm using a bottle that's almost out. So I'm also going to have to turn on my glue gun. So when we get closer to the time that we're going to put the buttons down, I'll turn on the glue gun. I wanted to show you, though, all of the different scrapbook papers that I got, and the fact that I could turn all of them into a kit. So we have, and this isn't really for writing space. This is a pocket. This isn't for writing space. This is just to break up the background and kind of give myself some neutral territory, I guess. All right, and then we're going to put this on, and all the way up to there, we need to just put a thin layer of glue. But I thought it might be fun to show you the scrapbook paper pairings with the pads. And I don't know if that helps when, if you decide you want to do something similar, look at your scrap pads. And maybe you don't have, this was a whole box of scrap notepads that was, they were designed to have all these collage bits all over them, and they were, it was a whole year's worth. Maybe you have 1 or 2 pads that have, stuff that you can cut apart. It doesn't have to be a whole, box of them or anything. But, it's a fun way to use the note paper that's a little bit different than what we normally do. Okay, so that's the lace at the bottom. And this kind of is a formula that I use. A piece of background paper to kind of break up the scrapbook paper, the big thing at the top, and then whatever other pieces you think you'll be able to use. And you just kind of layer everything up. I don't know if I want to put this under or over. See how that's over? I think I'm going to put it under and then run the rickrack across. Do I want to run it? We'll see how it looks. Let's see. All right, let me put this under here. I find this easier than trying to figure out where I want it on here. I find it easier to put it on the piece that it's going to go behind. And that way, I don't think this has a front or back. And that way, when I put it down, it's where I need it to be. Does that make sense? So I don't have to worry about, I glued it too high, or I glued it too low. It's under the piece I want it to go under, so wherever I stick it is where it needs to be. Like so. Okay. Okay, I think that's a good start. I'm debating. See, my issue is I don't know if I want to run a piece of rickrack across, like it's across up there, but I don't necessarily know that it would look bad. As a matter of fact, I kind of like that. Okay. We're probably going to put this down with hot glue, though. I'm just going to cut a piece that's slightly too big for my pocket. Now, if I'm going to put that across there, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with the. I wanted to put the buttons down the side. So one, maybe maybe they start at the corner and end at the rickrack. So like one on the rickrack like that, and one right there at the lace. And it kind of mimics what was on the pad. Okay, now the only thing that I haven't used is this little guy. I almost want to do. I can always cut the. Wait, let me see how it fits. I almost want to do something like this. I put it on there like that and then put the button on there. So it's like kind of catty corner down there. That's cute, yeah. Okay. Let me clip this. How do I want to clip? I'm debating whether or not to clip this like a ticket. I'm going to cut this off a little bit up here. Because if I can make it a little bit shorter, it'll fit better. And I'm debating whether or not to cut this more like a ticket than a. Let me see. I don't know if it should be a little rectangle like this. Notice I'm just continuing on. All right, it's about time that we turn this on. This has got to heat up because the other pieces that go down with this. So, with the exception of this little piece here. This would make a cute little charm. I might take this and put chipboard, you put it on chipboard and then cover it with like glossy accents or something, and then punch a hole in it. I might make one of these as a charm. I'm just going to put it on this way. I want it to be mostly on the card. On the pocket. If it hangs off a little bit, I'm okay as long as it's within the lace. Because if it's within the lace, it'll be on the page for the most part, I think. So, on there like that, with the button on top. I don't want to take the rickrack off the bottom. Just that it feels too long. Okay, let's glue this piece down. My hot glue gun is hot. Of course it is. Because I've been yammering and not paying attention. This bottle's almost out, guys. Which is the other reason we're going to use hot glue on the rickrack. Because I don't know how much glue I have left in here that I'd be able to get all the way through the rickrack. Okay, so let's put this on here so we know. I'm going to try and put it up kind of high. Yeah, that's good. And the only reason is because that will leave me more room to put a little, this little guy. Bone folder. Oops. I'm not. I feel like half the video is you guys watching me clean up glue. Okay. All right. Now, for the fun part. All right, let's get some on here. We'll go to right there. And we'll put it down right. Actually, I'll let some of the paper peek out the bottom. Like that. Okay. And then, okay, so we're going to go all along here. I do rickrack like I do ruffles only because it's not straight. I'm always afraid if I do a straight line, I'll miss, if that makes sense. Like I'll miss, I'll put the straight line down and the rickrack won't actually sit in it. Like there'll be glue here and here. But I mean, there is a straight line you could follow. All right, so let's cut that off. And we'll trim the other side up. On there now, but I don't think it's technically, I think it goes up. I need to draw myself lines. Okay, and then this is going to go on here like this. Okay, I got myself more room, so that's good. Let me glue this down. Come on, before my hot glue gun shuts off. It'll time out on me. I don't need a lot, just enough to cover the back of this. Okay, get it on here. Just like that. I want it far enough over so that I can do the line of buttons, because I still want to do the line of buttons. All right, and one of them is going to be right on top of the corner of this. Love that. Okay. And then one of them is going to be up here at the top. Now they're over further. So I need to maybe bring it down some. Makes me want to put something under it. It's a pocket, though. It's not a, I would put a tab on there, but it's a pocket, not a, not a tag. I'll get it out in a minute. I'm looking for something specific. Give me a sec, guys. I'm throwing things everywhere. I'm like a mad dash for something that I haven't unwound, apparently. Okay. I'm going to put this on the corner of the pocket. Right there. Go for a little bit more. And I want it in line with the button. Okay, and then we'll put this button on. Now, I would say I'm beginning to wonder if the other button should be at the bottom, but if I put the other button at the bottom, it's on top of the little thing again. So I think I'm still going to put it there. Because 2 seems like not enough. All right, I'm looking to make sure that it's kind of in the middle. Now, they go up in kind of a cattywampus line, but okay. I think that's kind of cute. See, you futz with them until you get them the way you want them, and then you're surprised because, wow, that actually turned out a lot better than I thought it was gonna. Now this one I had like little fuzzy, I don't have anything like that to go across here, but if I found something, I might put it like just across here above the paper, above the picture of Rick Rack. If I found something to go up there, I don't know that I would put this up there because I suppose I could put it here and it could be in peeking out the top of the pocket. Yeah, that will actually. Okay, so let me open this up. We're just going to put glue right across the top. Oh, guys, we got one done. It's one of those things where I feel like if I'm going to do these, I can go through my craft room and mix and match and search and like pair and do all of this stuff. And it takes a while for me to go through and do it. That was way too much. Well, we still hold. Okay, and then I'm going to stick masking tape over that when it dries. This stuff is so excited to get out of this bottle, but there's like hardly any of it left. Oh yeah. Let's turn this off for now. My problem is the battery dies on me. Okay. All right. Now, I'll have to trim it on it. Put it over too far. No. Okay. And then I did put it over too far. I wanted it to come to there. Oh well. And then you can tuck something in the pocket back here. And like I said, I'll probably put masking tape over that just so nothing gets caught. But that's that one. So we have a pocket for this set. This is so much. And then you can take your ideas that you had on here and you can move them to here. Like this has rickrack on it. I can take this like I did on that other one. I can take this and go across the bottom of here and put actual rickrack across there. And then actual rickrack across up here. And give it, more texture. And then when I do the tag, maybe I stick a button, So just play with all of the patterning and everything in your pad and see if you can come up with ways to do like this. I want to see if, let's see, that's that one. Put that one up there. I feel like Christmas would be a tough sell right now. I actually don't know how many of these. You know what? I want to try. No, not that one. I want to try something with this one, I think. Okay, so this is my paper. I have this that I don't ever use anywhere, and I'm wondering if I could use it on one of these. I think that goes okay. See, I can use it here as my bottom piece. Layer it up with a piece of white lace. Okay. Oh, then I need the pad. Where did I stack all the pads? Over here under my white buttons. I need the shoe. There we go. Now, I have tried doing stuff with this before. This one is a tough sell. Now, this one has music paper. So let's get down my scrap box here and see. I think I have music paper in here somewhere. None? Anywhere? Okay, one more place. Okay, let's see. If I've got a piece I can use from here. That's not music, that's dictionary. Maybe? Thinking about getting these words off of here just so that, because these music notes happen to have sticks going up and down. So if there's nothing on here to tell you, they're kind of use your own direction music notes. I mean, they're probably not, but okay, so this is going to be my music paper to put in the background. Like that. Right? Something like that. Or do I need something more like this? See, this is my problem. I'm trying to use up these scraps, guys. I don't want to go get new music paper. Well, maybe we'll try, ooh, you know what? We're going to try going in the other direction. Okay, so, all right, we've kind of got our formula now. Oh my goodness. I know, I've done it like I used to do it when I was downstairs. Remember how I used to say I would push myself to the bottom of my crafting table? Well, here we are. I'll push down to the bottom of my crafting table again. I like them rounded. I don't like them. And we already have like vintage music paper, which I'm probably going to ink the edges of, but that makes it a little easier to reach for the vintage photo. Again. I shouldn't say that. I like my vintage photo ink. I might put this one low too. Like normally it's up high. If I put it down here, maybe I can put something above it, which would be different than what I normally do. Of course, there might be a reason for that as well, so I don't know. Because if I put this down here, I'm going to need something to go across the bottom of it, maybe, to sort of hold it. I did have something I wanted to. Let me see. Where'd that piece go? I have this. Oh, no. Although, I mean, it's the right color, but I don't like this and this together. That's too much. What about this? You like these flowers? I like these flowers. I don't know how I'm going to use this. I'm just going to cut this piece and see if I can use it. This one's getting layered up lace because it's, I don't know, feels more kind of lacy, feminine, something. Guys, I'm not hating this. I do, however, feel like it needs something at the top. I've bottom heavied it. I don't even know that I'm going to trim this one. Well, I will on that side. Let's cut this off. And then I'll trim it. Oh, well, I guess I can cut it. I've got everything still sitting together, so. That. And you know what I should do? Hang on just a second, guys. Okay, I decided to sew those together so that they were how I liked them. I didn't go all the way to the end because I'm pretty sure we had the rows up on top of the paper, like that. So I didn't stitch all the way over to the end. Although I may have stitched over a little bit too far. In which case, I can always what I could do, I might be able to cut a notch so that it slides around the stitching. Or I could fold it back. I don't know. Let's get it all on here. See how we do. I also need to figure out what I'm going to put at the top, because the top was kind of, are we ready to try and get this bubble to work? Okay, we're going to do this one. So we got 2 more done. I still have all of those to decorate. I'm not going to bring you back for another video. You'll see them when they show up in projects and stuff, I guess. I just wanted to give you an idea of maybe a way you could use some of your notepads that have a little more like more details and stuff to them that you could, manipulate and use for all kinds of cool stuff. So I hope this was something that you're, able to use. I'm going to put quite a bit of glue down for this because it's got to hold quite a bit of stuff. I just want to make sure it holds. Okay, so I want it to hang over about like that. I don't want this to go too far over. These pockets are but so big. I mean, as far as like fitting in a journal, this pocket is 5.5 inches, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. So I don't want that to be too big. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, I love the way that looks, just like that. Let's mop up some of this glue between the holes here and on the edges. And I'm thinking, let me see how far over it goes. It hangs off a lot. But I didn't quite get it over far enough. What I might do is cut. The whole point was to have it overlap. But what I might do, that's my dog, by the way. I don't know what's going on, but she has decided that she wants to bark about something. Okay, let's see. And I'm hoping that that doesn't look weird behind the lace. Or maybe if I'm lucky, you won't even be able to see it behind the lace. That's still a little too far. I don't necessarily want the shoes to be covered up. They're kind of the whole point, right? But I feel like you still get the idea. All right, it needs a little more ink. I feel like it's not. No, don't ink that. I don't want that to stand out. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tear it so that it's white. Maybe it'll blend in better. I tear. I should have torn it to begin with. I'm hoping that the tear mark will blend in better than the. Oh my goodness. This is the only problem with the big. I've tried putting this. I've seen lots of people use those little tiny bottles with the little narrow needly type spouts, which I think would be great, except for the fact that I don't think they work with this kind of glue. I think they probably work great with PVA glue, but not this kind of glue. Okay. No, not on top. Go underneath like that. Okay. Now this one has more colors in it because you got that red and the blue. So it's got more weird kind of coloring in it. So it's not this red though. So like if I stuck a piece of this across here, that wouldn't look right. So we're not doing that. But I did have floating around here somewhere a couple of these, which I might stick one of these up here. I've done this before where I stick a pink flower on here and I put a brown button in it to mimic a little pink flower that's on the thing. It'll require me to turn my hot glue gun back on. So that would go there. I still don't know what to do with the, oh, that doesn't have enough glue on it. If it pops up again, I'll get it with something better. These buttons right here. There's little brown coconut gel buttons or something down here that do a good job of mimicking that center. Oh my gosh, they're sticking to my fingers. I have so much glue on me. Okay, so we would do that. I want something, the stitch, most of the time I like the stitching. This time I kind of want something to go in there to tie in some of these other colors, but I'm not sure what. All right, guys, give me a second. I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. I don't know. The other thing I might do is put a big flower here. Come out of here. Or out of here. These are really big flowers. Probably not out of there. Maybe got one of those. He's funny looking. What I'd really love to find is a blue button like that. And I don't think I have anything that looks like that. At least not big enough. Is that close? No, but it kind of matches that, yes? And we're off to the races. Wait. Oh, darn it. I think it's a stalk. It is, it's a stalk. Would have been the perfect color. I think, no, that wouldn't work. That's something like that. It's not big enough. In the middle of a flower, it might be. Well, not necessarily in the middle of that flower. Look at that. Can't get it to lay down. That's more than one. What do we think? I don't know. See, that's kind of... Ooh, wait a second. See, this is what happens when you go hunting. Yep. All right, let's turn on the hot glue gun. I'm going to move some stuff out of my way. We're going to glue these down. Clean up some of this mess while I'm waiting on that to heat up. All right, guys, this is going to be the end of it. I know this has been a long road to get 2 pockets decorated. But as you can see, my decorating process is very, well, long and arduous. I don't have any, I guess I'd have to iron that. It takes me a while to do any kind of decorating because it takes me a while to piece things together. I have a thought, I look at it, I'm like, no, I don't like that. I have another thought, try it, and you go through that whole process, right? Well, it takes me a while. Okay, so I will move this side down. The other side looks more finished. Come on. There it was, I saw it. My glue gun says it's ready. But it's not really. I do like these. I got these off of Amazon. It came in a pack of like 8 or 9 colors, just strips of them. Okay, and then we'll glue this down and we'll be all done. We could have used Fabri-Tac on this, but we're going to do, because it's in my hand and it's fast. See, but what I like about this is I keep playing and I keep playing, and eventually I love how it turns out. I just keep messing with it until I like it, which is probably what all of us do. But as you can see, it takes me a while. And then I end up with videos that are, you know, an hour long to do 2 pockets. I don't know if it'll be an hour long once I edit it, but just so you know, this video was about an hour long and we did 2 pockets. So love how that turned out. I mean, that's gorgeous. I hope you guys can find some flippy pads in your stash that you can do this with. And I hope that you're able to, you know, throw something like this together. I just thought they would make really cool kits and I wanted to share. So you guys dig into your flippy pad stash, see if you've got any with lots of little pictures or whatever on them, and pull them out and see what kind of little kits you can put together with them. It's a great way to use up some of the sheets on the pad, because to make a kit, I use up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets off of the flippy pad. I used up to make that kit. Well, that had an extra card in it, but I mean, for one of the other ones, probably 4 sheets. So take a look, pull them out, see what you can come up with, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.